Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2025. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source in the Star Ledger, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2025. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Karlovic.
Here.
Councilman Boyle is excused. Councilman Finestrella.
Here.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno. Here. Councilman Morrow.
Here.
Councilman Piper.
Here.
And Councilman Scurries.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of May 7, 2025, and the executive session for May 7, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Giordano Paserno and seconded by Councilman Piper. Roll call.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno. Yes. Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Piper.
Yes.
Councilman Scurries.
Yes.
Councilman Boyle is excused.
Okay, I have two proclamations this evening. One is for National Public Works Week, which I will present to our superintendent. And I also have a Memorial Day and National Moment of Remembrance. I see that Commander Jeans is here, Commander Juan Garcia, and Chaplain Bob Poth. Okay. Whereas the Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vital to the importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, highlight quality of life and well-being of the people of the Borough of Kenilworth. These infrastructure facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. It is in the public's interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the Borough of Kenilworth to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. Whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association and the Canadian Public Works Association. Be it now resolved, I, Linda Karlovic, Mayor, do hereby designate the week of May 18th to the 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designated to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. And here witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand this day, the 21st day of May, 2025.
I want to personally thank you, Greg, and the entire DPW for everything you do for our community. You guys work so hard for us, and we see you and we appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much.
So much. Thank you.
So I'd just like to thank Mayor and Council and Laura for giving us this proclamation. It means a lot. We do work long hours, we do work during storms and emergencies, and we appreciate all the recognition, and we'll keep doing it no matter what. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Okay. On Memorial Day, we pause to honor the fallen heroes who died in service to our nation. Whether on the battlefields of Bunker Hill, on the beaches of Normandy, in the jungles of Vietnam, or in the mountains and deserts of the Middle East, brave Americans of every generation have given their last full measure of devotion in defense of our country, our liberty, and our founding ideals. With heavy hearts and a sense of profound gratitude, we mourn these women and men, parents, children, loved ones, comrades in arms, friends, and all those, known and unknown, who believe so deeply in what our country could be that were willing to give their lives to protect its promise. We are indebted to all those who sacrificed all in our name, including our nation's mothers and fathers, and who have given their daughters and sons to America, spouses and partners who shoulder the weight of unthinkable loss, and the courageous children in whom the legacies of their parents live on. It is our sacred duty to remember the courageous warriors who have made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure that our great country would endure. We must strive to ensure that their noble acts of dedication to our country and the cause of freedom were not in vain, and to comfort the families they have left behind who bear the heartbreak of their loss. In solemn reflection, we gather in eternal gratitude for the sacrifices of these extraordinary Americans and offer a prayer for lasting peace. Let us renew our steadfast resolve to work toward a peaceful future in which the horrors of war are distant memory, and our families and communities and our nation no longer need to comfort the sorrow and pain of losing our beloved sons and daughters. Now therefore, I, Linda Karlovich, the Mayor of the Borough of Kenilworth, do hereby proclaim Memorial Day, May 26, 2025, as a day of prayer for permanent peace, beginning at 11 a.m. And I further ask that all Americans to observe the National Moment of Remembrance beginning at 3 p.m. on Memorial Day. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand this 21st day of May 2025. By Commander Jeans and Commander Garcia.
I would like to say thank you to the Borough for acknowledging. And I would also like to mention that, Post 470, the American Legion, is very involved with the veterans who are hospitalized at the moment. They're always contributing and going to the hospitals and doing bingo and pizza party for them. And doing that will take the monotony out of actually them being there without their family. That's what we practically do all the time. Thank you.
Again, on behalf of VFW and the Kenilworth Veterans Center, I'd like to thank the council for acknowledging us and everything that we do, and especially this holiday and its importance to us. Again, Saturday, the 24th at 9 o'clock, we will be at the cemetery decorating the veterans' graves with flags. So anybody who wishes to participate, we call this our day of service, we'll call it Saturday. And then on Monday at 11 a.m., we have services over on South 21st Street at the building, at the VFW building. We'll be out in the park if the weather permits. If not, we'll be inside. But 11 a.m. sharp. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the finance report. Councilman Morrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Really not much activity going on. Ken is working with, our CFO is working with all the departments on requests for the capital budget. The Finance Committee will be meeting with Ken and maybe the town administrator on June 3rd, and we'll have more to report on at the beginning of June.
Thank you, Councilman. Department of Public Works, Councilman Boyle. Does anyone have a report?
I'll read it.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Piper's going to read Councilman Boyle's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, the highlights and expenses and revenue through May 1st, 2025. We collected and disposed of 234 tons of municipal solid waste for a total cost of $18,716.74. We collected and transported 94 yards of mixed vegetation for a total cost of $2,046. We collected and transported 41.43 tons of loose commingled recyclables for a total cost of $3,107.25. Our diligent DPW crew set up and cleaned up at the Kenilworth Street Fair. We collected 2 tons of trash, 100 gallons of cooking oil. They did a great job. Great job. Residents living in the Tuesday and Friday garbage pickup route get the next monthly bulky waste pickup on Friday, June 13th. The garbage routes get different bulk waste pickup days in subsequent months, with the dates all being listed on the borough website, kenilworthborough.com. There is a 5-item limit, and details are online. And please email your bulk questions to the DPW. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Fenestrella.
Thank you, Mayor. Not much to report for mid-month. Basically, on May 9th, Kenilworth officers sustained a shoulder injury while making an arrest. The officer is currently receiving treatment for his injury. On May 18th, this past Sunday, Kenilworth held its annual street fair, and happy to report there were no significant incidents to report from the fair. June 7th is the fishing derby. We'll be at Blackbrook Park. I believe it starts early in the morning, around 8, check-ins around 7. There'll be worms to be provided, or you bring your own bait, or how's it?
You bring your own bait, that's great, we sell some bait there. Lines in the water by 8 o'clock, it's usually what, that's our a couple hours, so food will be provided for everybody that shows up. Those who are pre-registered and registered there, the children do receive a shirt for the fishing day, so. See you later.
Thank you, Chief. And besides that, everyone's seen the permanent speeding indicator sign that's on the boulevard heading east, coming off of Lenape. And I believe it sounds like it's doing a good job, because I believe people are slowing down once its flashes slow down real fast. Mm-hmm. And we are looking to get another one going on the westbound side.
That's correct.
In a similar area, but a little bit further.
Going to elaborate?
Yeah.
I apologize, I didn't want to step on you.
No.
It's, the one that we put up that's currently functioning now is immediate effect. People are slowing down, they see it, it's everybody coming through eastbound on the boulevard from Cranford area to the park. So as soon as they come through, they'll see the speed sign, the flashes, gives them an idea how fast they're going. I've been sitting there in my unmarked vehicle watching it over several weeks. Every time somebody sees it comes up, I say 9 out of 10 cars are automatically slowing down. It's bringing a lot of attention to the speed in that side. We are in the process of looking to put up another one on the other side. The boulevard will be further up, so to get people to slow down heading westbound on the boulevard. And that's good. I'm sure it's going to have another immediate effect on that side too. We're doing what we can with what we have, and things are slowly starting to go in the right direction. So it's good.
These are great solutions to some of the radical ones we've had presented to us that have very undefined, unintended consequences. So thank you, Chief. I like to see
Chief, can we get one of these on Michigan Avenue as well?
There, I have full intentions of working with my finance guy. Trying to get
Ken?
it happen. Yes, it's something I'm looking forward to try to do. It's a very easy, I don't say easy process. It's something it's immediate effect.
Mm-hmm.
So I think getting one, taking care of the West End, because that's really, once I can hopefully get county capital for next year to start implementing them on South Michigan or North Michigan, where we see fit. I'm in direct contact with the county traffic association and the borough county engineer. What locations would be best? These are solar powered, so it's not like we can just have to be specific locations. The ones on the boulevard, we sat down, Lieutenant Brady and I had to go out physically with the company to figure out which location would be best.
Okay.
Borough's got beautiful oak trees all the way down. Trying to find a spot was kind of difficult, but we were able to find 2 spots. One that's currently elected, the other one will soon, hopefully the next, a couple weeks, a couple of months. That once something gets up, at least we know the boulevard is got that on there. My next goal is Michigan Avenue, and I have some other plans we're looking to do to try to get people to slow down.
Great.
This is not just a problem for Kenworth. Everybody in the county, in the state, is dealing with this. Speeders are everywhere. I'm just trying to make sure that I do what I can with the help that I have to ensure that people are safe and sound. So we're doing what we can with what we have, and we're doing a damn good job. So
Great, thank you.
Excuse me.
What's the cost to get one of them?
What was it? I don't want to just throw a number out. 15. Okay. Ballpark
About
around
15.
$15,000 per thing. They're solar powered, so it's great. You don't have to worry about running wire, electric. So that's what we're looking at.
Chief, what part of Michigan Avenue, talking about South Michigan, I would recommend?
Well, that's something, it depends. Like I said, these locations were just, I was like, I want them here, I want them there. And I needed input from those who do the traffic bureau, as a lieutenant.
I agree with you.
Well, because of the portable traffic radar trailers, which are now going to be freed up, being that we have the permanent structures out there, so we can put them on South Michigan or wherever needed until, we can
Great.
afford it. For
I think South Michigan is,
is my main concern.
We actually put them on the boulevard because of the street fair.
right,
To notify everybody that the street fair, the road's gonna be with us. We have those signs, we have been moving them on South Michigan Avenue. I'm sure some of our audience members can ask us, they had asked about it. We will go do what we can with what we have. We have them out there. South Michigan, we have people that are complaining on smaller size streets. We have a smaller radar trailer. We're doing what we can to try to slow people down. South Michigan Avenue, North Michigan Avenue, we take consideration from Berlin, the county engineer, the county roads. We can't just go out there and put things out, so we have to deal with the traffic department of the county engineer, and we will come together with a collective agreement where we believe the best places. South Michigan is a little different because it's kind of more canopy over there. If North Michigan has Blackwood Park on one side where the trees are further back, so like I said, they're solar powered. So that's it's going to be a whole hodgepodge of people coming together to find what locations would work best. We don't want to put one up and then not have it work, so that's what it is.
And also the chief, and I think Lieutenant Grady mentioned to me, the sign's not simply just a sign to tell you your speed. It also, go ahead.
Elaborate. In fact, why don't you talk about that?
It also has software that provides data. It'll give you volume of traffic, average speed, max speed. So we can target the times of the day where violations.
That's great.
are. So if it's like, for instance, 5 o'clock on a Thursday, people are doing excess of 45 miles an hour. Well, that's when we're going to sit there.
That's great.
So it provides a lot
That's
more
good.
than just a speed readout.
It's not just the sign, and that's my
that's
concern.
awesome.
We're so lots of concern about the boulevard. When I took over, I talked to a lot of people about it. The consensus is that this time financially it'd be best for us to put that up there, and it gives us the data that we need to say, okay, as like Lieutenant said, you're speeding more in the afternoon. Obviously, people rushing home to get work. I can enforce more traffic details on that side of the boulevard.
Right.
So it's a smart sign. It's not just a sign. It's
That's great.
So it's a great piece of equipment.
Looking forward to getting more.
Chief, one more thing. I recommend your portable, North 19th Street, between Washington and the Boulevard.
That is,
And you can put where there's empty spots because of yellow curb in it. Maybe that would be a good location.
19th Street, I know exactly what you're talking about. The issue with 19th Street is obviously parking is a problem over there. years.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, there's a fire hydrant someday, you'll have a permanent spot.
you can't put one in front of a fire hydrant.
Well, it's not in front, but it's just a big area.
But if you
Might
can
be
find a
able to-
spot to put one, and people will slow down, like I said, we do have a small one.
Small.
You can put the small one out there to try to deter people. This first time I'm getting, more of trying to get speeders on. We get complaints for smaller streets. The problem is the big signs are just way too big.
Yeah.
We do have a small one that's constantly out and about. I'll make sure that.
Yeah, put it there, because the residents are always complaining. And there's, like I said, there's yellow curb there, you could tuck it in, you don't have to worry about taking up.
You know, that's another thing we're working on.
Parking spots.
The superintendent and we're looking to eventually, once the boulevard's paved, and we're gonna start marking up curb lines, correct me if I'm wrong, correct, to make sure that parking is, what happens is a lot of these cars are parking in these areas it shouldn't be. It makes it even more constricted, and people are going down these roads, and it looks a lot faster than it actually is. It's not safe, so we're doing what we can. We'll put that little radar sign out there, it'll slow people down. 20 Street's another problem, same thing. 20th Street from Washington to Boulevard, these are very heavy volume.
22nd as well.
Let's save every street.
Every street.
Joking aside, I get calls every day. People say, people are speeding down my street. And I personally will go down there, sit there, as the chief, as Lieutenant Grady has done himself. We sit there, we try to scratch every itch. And we try to explain to people what they don't understand is 25 miles an hour on the boulevard looks like you're standing still. 25 miles an hour on a smaller, narrow street looks like you're doing 50. So I will purposely go down there, meet with them, show them, hey, this is what I want you to tell me how fast I'm going down your roadway. And as they come around, and I'm doing 20 miles an hour, you're doing 45 miles an hour. No, I'm trying to show you that because it's so narrow, it does look like you're going faster than you actually are. But we still try to appease them and put those smaller radar signs that we get out there. Eventually, I'd like to get a couple more of those small ones. I don't want to leave radar signs out all the time. The problem is, people need to police themselves. And the only way I gotta say to really do it is enforcing it by issuing summonses. And hopefully in the future, I can create a full traffic bureau that will be able to do what I'm looking to do. I live here in Kenworth, I get complaints, I'm in the Acme, we all, I can speed down my street.
I mean, the boulevard used to have such a reputation, like nobody speeded
We still
down.
have that
Yep.
reputation.
Speed on the
I mentioned
boulevard.
a few months ago that we were used as an example in another town, I'm not gonna mention your name, we used as an example of how to run radar and get people to slow down. So our own population doesn't realize we're doing a lot more than other towns are. And we're gonna continue to do that.
Great.
That's
Thank you.
So I'll, I'm out.
Thank you, Chief.
Anything else before I,
Nope.
Chief, yes.
oh, okay.
You had a sign on 14th Street before the street fair.
Yes.
That was awesome. I would sit on the front lawn and watch all the brake lights go down the street. Because that street has children crossing over.
Yes.
And that, I think, is one of the most important streets in our town to have that sign. But it's not there anymore.
We had to move it for the street fair.
We only have two,
We'll let it go.
so we needed that for the detours.
Oh, okay.
So currently on the boulevard right now, there'll be repositioned somewhere else.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that was working.
it does work, like
Yeah.
I said, but the thing
Does.
is trying to be able to have, I don't have a street sign on everybody's street.
Right.
People will start policing
I just
themselves.
think that that's an
Oh, I
important
agree with
street.
you. I'm not saying- I'm not
There's
saying
children
you're
there.
We put it right by,
Oh, that'd be right.
it does slow people
And we
down.
guys,
Thank you.
crossing the track, there's a lot of foot traffic.
And that might be a spot for a smaller version of the signs. And I wish I'm already in the process of looking at, they're not $15,000, they are less, they are, there's a few things. But I like to try to get in certain areas like that are permanent, don't have to worry about it, and we're solar, we don't have to pay for electricity.
Great. Okay.
Oh, sorry, we also have the stealth traffic camera, so people would say, oh, you won't see the speed sign, and it works off of, go ahead.
It's a stealth, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's a stealth radar counter. It looks like a Pelican box, a black plastic case. We put on the telephone pole. Nobody knows what it is, but it's collecting data. It speeds. So when you have a resident complaining that cars are doing 60 miles an hour down the street, I can bring up my data and say, they're doing, the max speed is 37. So we have hard data, and of course the times and the volume to tell you what's going on the street. Without letting the drivers know.
Yes, it doesn't influence it doesn't have a big signage telling you to slow down. They're not seeing that. So it's pure that.
I understand.
So we have it, it's all out there. We're doing
Great.
it together, so.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Going once?
Planning and zoning, Councilman Scurries.
Thank you, Mayor. End of the month, I wasn't provided with any reports. Noteworthy, though, is that the redevelopment on the Onyx Nest property is proceeding in a positive trajectory, so I don't want to say too many details, but it's moving forward. Thanks to the planning board. So it's on very good things. It looks very good coming in, and that's why I have the report.
There is one application on the agenda for next week for Monroe Avenue, for the planning board.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So everyone knows, okay. That's what I just know it because I just read it, so I add to it. Okay, thank you, Councilman. Recreation and Fire, Councilman Piper.
Just a couple small things. Fire, Chief Scuderia has an appointment for a probationary EMT. The resolution will be presented in June. We have received the Chief's certification for LoSAP, the Lincoln Service Award Program, and the resolution will be on for the June meeting also. With REC, we have received a list of summer counselors for the REC summer camp. That's what I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Health, Education, and Welfare, Councilwoman Giordano Paserno.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with the library tomorrow, May 22nd at 7 p.m. They have a very unique guest, Flavian. He is a mind reader / entertainer. They say come for readings and laughter. You have to register online for that. You can go right on the library website and you click the activity you want to go to and register. This is one of them. Then on next Tuesday, every Tuesday, and now on Saturdays, there is the English Conversations for adults that would like more assistance learning English. So on Tuesdays it's 5:30, on Saturdays it's 10:30. And then every Tuesday for 6 weeks, there is a cursive writing course. Also register online, that's from 5 to 6 p.m. And then, of course, the well-attended crafts for children, Lapsit, the Yarny group meets, string band, Legos, bingo. All of the activities are very easily registered online, and if you don't need to register, it will tell you. But just go on the Kenilworth Library website directly, and you can see all the activities for the next couple of months. So you could pre-register, and it'll send you an alert and post it to your calendar. The seniors have next Tuesday, it's called the Top 5 Mistakes People Make on Medicare. It's lunch prior to the workshop. The lunch is at 11:30. The workshop starts at 12 p.m. And then there is the senior picnic next Thursday at the Mario Park at 11. It'll be a luau. By the way, the New Jersey Property Tax Relief Anchor Program is due by October 31st. I'll keep reminding everybody, it's really important. They upped the amount you are allowed to earn. So if you weren't eligible before, you may be eligible now, and you could get either the printed document on the borough website, or you could go right online using that link and register yourself. And the last thing is the Eagle Project that was done by Mason Dangle, where he originally was supposed to just renovate one closet. He wound up doing both closets on the first and second floor. He also provided carts where the seniors are able to stack the folding chairs and the folding tables and just wheel the cart out when they're having different activities, making it easier to store and easier to access. And the mayor will organize a more formal thank you to Mason along with the senior director, Shirley Maxwell, and invite a couple of seniors, whoever wants to come to thank Mason for a really well job
Very
done,
nice.
above and beyond what he anticipated or originally said he would. Board of Education's next meeting is June 9th at 7 p.m. However, the budget for the 25-26 year is on the website, all 17 pages for everybody to view. Very easy to read and understand. And the last of the projects being the middle school is slated to be done for July, so it'll be open and ready for new students come September. The last is the health department. We had our meeting last Thursday night. The only thing that we did discuss above and beyond all of the standard inspections and things like that, everything's going well in the borough. The health fair is slated for September. I'm sorry, I don't remember the date in September. I'll have it for you the next meeting, but it will be at St. Teresa's again, as it always is. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Excuse me, when you go to the board, can you ask them what the problem is? A lot of people are complaining they can't get their child in for, they say, is it nursery school?
Pre-K, yeah.
Oh, pre-K. It's like a lottery system, which was news to me. And so my neighbor's child specifically had delay attending school a whole year because they couldn't get in. So my understanding was they weren't overly crowded, so I don't know, maybe.
To the Board of Education?
Yeah,
I'm saying so.
So I know some people had their kids go to Roseville Park because they can't get into Kenilworth. I don't know why we can't.
Registered too late. That's why I urge everybody, I will say the Board of Education website is really very clear and concise with registration dates, cutoffs, everything. They should go on now. I mean, they do have, and they're going to a full day daycare. So it's filling up if it's not filled up already. So if you miss the registration, there's nothing you could do, but everything is available there.
Well, they
Or
said
you
it's
can
a
call-
lottery, so it didn't matter. I mean, maybe some people didn't sign up, but everyone's saying it's a lottery, so it's no guarantee. So I didn't, that has changed
Yeah.
since.
I would suggest calling Harding School to get the details,
Okay.
but I do know there are very clear cutoffs. If there's a lottery, probably the time that you have to put in for it. But everything's online.
Yeah.
I don't want to give misinformation, so I would direct them there and to call Harding School. That's your
Okay.
best bet.
Thank you.
And if anyone happens by the senior center, I really recommend stopping in and seeing the Eagle Scout project because he did
Oh, he
an
went above and
amazing,
beyond.
amazing job over there.
Completely emptied both closets,
Yeah.
bought all new cabinetry, file cabinets, organized
beautiful.
everything, brought everything back in for them. He didn't just do it halfway. Along with his parents, she said his parents were
Yes.
there assisting, a couple of friends, so a great group of people, really.
All the holiday things are all organized
Yeah.
by every holiday.
Oh,
It's
got
really
clear
nice.
bins. So
Yes.
when everything is put back in the bins, they're clear, so you can see right in and you know right away what's there. He did a great job.
Sure did. Thank you, Councilwoman. Borough Engineer.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I really don't have much to report. We're going to be putting out the road job, the 2025 road program to bid next couple of weeks. So we should be able to get that started sometime early July. Other than that, I really don't have anything else going on. So let's just say
Question, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Wiltshire, can we start on that?
well, the rain, we want to get a week without, where we can get like a solid 3, 4 days, 5 days without rain. Once they start digging, it's going to be a mess. Like today, if they had an open trench, we got that rain, it would be a mess. So we're trying to get a week where we're going to get at least 3, 4, hopefully 5 days without rain. It's ready to go. They got the materials that were backlogged. So.
Contractors just waiting for no rain? I mean, we don't have to schedule this?
Well, every time we look at the week coming up, right? This week it was again, 3 days of rain scheduled. So we don't want them to do 2 days and then sit for 3 days of rain. It's going to be a mess. So, I mean, eventually you might have to, but we're trying to get a week where it's going to be a little drier. So once he starts, you can close it up and get it cleaned up before we get any kind of heavy rain. So we're playing it week by week. I know it's been a while. I know we got to get it done, but soon we get a good week. I mean, we just got kind of a rain spell now. I think the last couple of weeks. So
Okay,
we're
thanks.
taking it week by week.
That makes sense. The boulevard paving, was supposed to happen this week, but I hear it's being moved a couple of weeks. Do you have a firm estimate on this one?
June, Chief, what did you say, June?
I'll have the date of June 1st.
First, yes.
Starting from the Parkway Bridge going west town. That's the tentative date, not 100%. So
Is this going to be nightly work?
I was told by the night.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And last question for you, Tony, sorry. Market Street, you were talking about the road work that we're going to plan on doing this year once things get settled. I don't think that's on the list. Is there utility work we're expecting to be done on Market Street?
So,
A lot of utility work.
yeah, it's interesting. The public service, pretty much, they ran all their duct banks in. They might let a little bit more work when they redo the substation, but the gas company is talking about coming in and running gas lines like next year. So between public service and the gas company, I mean, the entire Market Street will be repaved, but we're probably gonna have to suffer for another year or so until the gas company comes in. We could do it, but then what would be the point? They're gonna
It's
come
in
in.
focus, but it's just not the right time.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, because we'll get it paid at their expense. I mean, if we do it, we pretty much wasted our money.
As we've all learned with the gas bills, their expense is ours. But I hear you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, listen, this is all part of the public service. It's all part of their upgrading the whole system across the state. I mean, they're going town by town. I mean, they're spending billions of dollars upgrading all these substations, which is really kind of after Hurricane Sandy, they took a beating, right? Because most of the substations blew out, right? They were in flood zones, they shut down. So this is all part of this resiliency thing they're doing with all their substations. They're upgrading, not just, the substations being rebuilt, but it's also being more power. They're bringing in, higher
A lot more
voltage.
power.
Yeah, so that power, future needs, current and future needs.
And they'll be inside, all the substations will be located indoors,
Right.
which will definitely help. with
So we're
bad
timing
weather.
all the work they need to do with the gas company to make sure we pay it one time. I mean, I'm happy they're going to increase power. People are telling me it's like driving on the moon.
Yeah.
So,
It is.
Yeah, I mean, we could get them to do some patchwork, I guess, just to do some bad spots, just do some temporary patches, so it's not, people aren't losing hubcaps and blowing tires out, but, we'll get the whole thing done at their expense. I mean, they're gonna, whatever the arrangement they do, they're gonna split the cost. Usually one reimburses the other. We don't care. We want them to do it at their expense. So, we'll get a better timeline from the gas company, they're saying next year. We'll see as this year goes on. We'll get a better idea. They don't always give us that much of a heads up what they're doing. They kind of say, yeah, we think we're going to do it, but we'll know better later this year what their hardcore plans are for next year. So, but yeah, listen, we've had a lot of roads paved over the years at the utility company's expense. A lot, probably like at least 20 roads. All of Colfax was done. That was done by the water and gas company together. So, it saves the borough a lot of money all the time. I mean, we're getting a lot of roads done. It's a pain while they're doing it, right? You're kind of suffering through it, while they're digging up and they're in traffic, and then they have to sit there. They have the trenches have to settle for a while. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of money that the borough saves by that getting done. So we'll just work it out. So okay. Thank you.
One question, Tony. During the street fair, some people come up on Red Maple Lane. I know we mentioned it before. They thought that we had never mentioned. They had never gotten any feedback. Was there anything update on that situation? Similar.
This was the
behind, like
the stream.
I guess it comes out to Trenton. I know some of it's
Yeah.
covered. Or,
That's what that's, yeah, it starts from Michigan, goes to Trenton, and, we looked at it. I mean, there's not a lot of, obstructions in the stream, and it looked pretty clean. The problem, not just there, but in a lot of spots in the borough, a lot of the obstructions are man-made, right? You have fences, sheds, footbridges, swimming pools. You got all kinds of stuff that's been built along the stream.
Yes.
Those are causing obstructions. I mean, those are probably the primary obstructions. The tree that, you know, a couple of branches that are in the stream, yeah, they cause a problem, but they're not the main problem. The problems are all the man-made obstructions that have been built over the years. I mean, you couldn't build those today with the DEP regulations, but, you know, they've probably been built over the last, who knows, you know, 20, 30, 40 years. And that's probably causing most of the flooding. I mean, you know, I don't think people are going to voluntarily start taking down their fences and their sheds and their pools, but, you know, that's a big cause of the problem.
Is there a way that we can get them a letter and kind of explain that to them? Because I guess without any feedback, they feel that we're ignoring them. I know we're not ignoring them.
I mean, we could put out a newsletter or something.
And let them know, say, if you want to fix it, these are the problems. There's nothing we can do. You guys may have to do it, you know, obviously. Can you do that?
Sure, I can draft something, I can work it out.
Or even, I get a copy of it, that way they ask me, no
give
them the letters, we didn't forget.
Yeah, we'll put something together, just saying, look, this is something that, we'll figure it out, we'll word it.
Yeah, thank you, Tony.
Yeah, all right, no problem.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Borough CFO.
Thank you, Mayor. As Finance Chairman Morrow mentioned, we're working on trying to finalize capital. Our goal is to have that done and an ordinance for introduction to you guys for the second meeting in June and adopting that at the meeting in July. Second quarter taxes, May 1st taxes are past due. If you did forget, please get your payment in. And that's all I have right now.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay. Thank you.
Borough Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing for public session. I know in executive session we'll have an agreement to discuss.
Okay, thank you. Borough Administrator.
The Union County Board of Commissioners Capital Project grant awards were announced, and I'm happy to say that Kenilworth will be receiving $300,000.
Ooh.
Nice.
The scope of the project will be reviewed and prioritized to best utilize this non-matching grant. We're also going to be working with a new project this summer, with the United Way of Greater Union County. They have summer youth employment program offering a paid 6-week program to help teach youth aged 16 to 24 how the workforce works, as well as offer them an environment to grow and gain different skills. This program is fully funded by the United Way. And they will also provide any pre-requirements as needed. The only thing needed on our part would be to allow the youth to shadow, and we would need to supervise them as well as signing off on their timesheets. Right now, we're hoping to have 3 individuals, 1 for Public Works, because they're looking for some help down there with the recycling program. The construction office can use some help, and we were thinking up here at Borough Hall we could have someone float between the offices and, you know, help us catch up on some back burner items. I also wanted to extend a huge thank you to the Kenilworth Police Department, Fire First Aid Squad, Department of Public Works, Board of Health, and all municipal personnel for your unwavering support during the 2025 Kenilworth Street Fair and Classic Car Show. And I also want to extend kudos to retired Police Chief Ken Grady. He volunteered again to organize the car show. The car show was such a success. We had over 120 vehicles, and unfortunately, due to lack of space, we had to turn some vehicles away. So we're going to see if we can work on getting more space for next year. And all of this would not be possible without the cooperation of the county for the road closure, the Board of Ed for the use of their parking lot, and the Township of Union for the use of the bandstand. At the last meeting, Councilman Savina, you had asked me about the lead program. I did reach out to the Board of Health. We were granted the extension. However, we're just waiting for them to send us the paperwork to complete so we can start moving forward again.
Okay.
But we were granted the extension, so hopefully we'll get that ball rolling as well.
Oh, good. I hope we can lose it. So, and Marconi's going to lead that, or
yes,
health officials?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I'll announce or contact whoever needs to get the code.
If there's anything, if he has any updates, I'll be sure to update council on that.
Thank you.
Okay, and that is all I have.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, before we move to the consent agenda, can we workshop something for a second?
Sure.
Really not workshopping, actually, Greg, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot. Can we talk a little bit about the pilot for the bulk that happened on the south side? I'll tell you some of the feedback I got. and maybe we can talk a little. Apparently there was a last minute change that was not well communicated about what will or will not be picked up. Is there anything we could say about that? I know a flyer went out, and then apparently people put things out that were on the flyer, and those were not picked up.
What people put out that was not picked up was not on the flyer. It was on the DPW webpage. So that was what was conflicting. We had our DPW flyer that Laura helped make, and that was the first thing we saw. And then below it was a text of items that were collected. And a resident brought it to our attention on Thursday, the 8th, saying, you guys collect carpeting. And we said, no, we don't. She said, well, it's on your webpage. So we said, oh, thank you for letting us know. We'll remove it. And we removed it Thursday morning on the 8th. And then I had residents call me and complaining, saying, well, you didn't take my carpeting. And I said, regardless of whether or not we took your carpeting, we still took 5 items from your piles. Unless it was, and I don't know all the details, but if a resident had just carpeting out, yes, no, we wouldn't have taken that. And as I explained to any resident who complained, I told them it's the way the state defines solid waste. So the state has a list of ID numbers associated with different types of solid waste. Bulk is ID 13. ID 13C is construction materials, and carpeting padding is labeled as construction material. So that's why we don't pick that up. So bulk waste is just stuff that you guys generate throughout the year. If you're ripping up carpeting, what are you doing? A renovation.
Yeah, so
and that's considered construction.
There's harmony now in what's posted on the website.
Yes.
We've announced in the flyers as something that will be picked up. So carpeting was not on the flyer, and now it's not on the website. So now if anybody is doing their research before bulk, they'll see the same message.
Correct. And on our a la carte bulk list, we just have area rugs up to a certain size.
Okay. All right, very good. Now I had one other piece of feedback that somebody only had 2 items out. One of them was a patio umbrella, and the patio umbrella was left out there. So it wasn't a 5-item limit. And then I think the person may have called and somebody told them it was recyclables because it was metal.
Yes.
Now I'm confused about that because we did talk, I think when we were trying to put the pilot together, that if there's plastic and fabric affixed to metal, it's no longer recyclable. So a patio umbrella would fit into that.
Well,
so what are residents supposed to do with things like patio umbrellas?
No, it's, I checked with Fortune Metal. They said if the majority of it is metal, like 75%, whatever, I'm just using it as an example, it's not a definite number. If it's mostly metal, they'll take it and they'll strip what they need off of it to recycle it. That's what they do there.
So we should leave patio umbrellas out with our recycling?
No.
Okay, so what are we supposed to do? How could residents dispose of their patio umbrellas?
So
and it's just one example.
Right.
I think what will be an issue if we continue.
So if it's all right with the governing body, because we never did really, we said we didn't want to pick up recycling with the bulk waste because we take that for free at our yard if they're willing to bring it to us. So I didn't want to have the residents waste their 5-item picks for something that they can get rid of for free. And if you guys want to, we can amend it moving forward, but I would definitely leave out appliances because we do have a supervisor following each bulk truck to ensure that everything's done right in compliance and they take notes because I knew that we were going to get complaints. So this way, if someone called and complained, I had the notes right in front of me. I could say, no, you had too many items out, blah, blah, blah. And also our camera trucks are corroborating all of our data as well. So we can collect recyclable items, but we won't count it towards their 5 items. We will use the 5 items for something that they would normally pay for.
I'll turn to my colleagues here.
So someone can bring an umbrella or a recycling item to the DPW yard for disposal for free.
Yeah, anything that's recyclable, residents can bring to us for free. So commingled bottles and cans, cardboard, paper, scrap metal, styrofoam, used motor oil filters, plastic film, reusable shopping bags, fluorescent light bulbs, just to name a few.
Styrofoam.
Styrofoam, yeah, black styrofoam, as long as it's not contaminated with food.
I think it would be worth amending the ordinance to include these smaller recyclables, non-appliance
Then don't
recyclables.
you have to have 2 trucks out?
We always,
But
we
this,
are.
the things are recyclable, so if they can be recycled, I think they should be recycled. And not just wind up in a landfill.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Tony, they're following in pickups and mixing them, so they would throw it in the back of their vehicle. And if they got full, they would stop the trip and run back, empty it, and then continue on.
So no new trucks go out, it's still the same
Yeah.
thing that you have.
We would-
We're just
yeah.
gonna follow with a truck and pick recycling. Listen, I think for the ease of the residents, just being able to throw out their bulk on the bulk day for the 5 items, I think it would be worth amending to include the recyclables. You raised an interesting point about not including that towards the 5 items. That gets dicey now, right? Because everybody's gonna claim it was recyclables or it wasn't.
Well, they can claim all they want, I mean, I'm the
If
one
you're
that's.
ready for that
it's-
headache, Greg, I don't mind giving it to you. Because I think
But he has the notes and the pictures.
Yeah.
I think it's clear though what is and isn't
Right.
recyclable. I think some people maybe we could do a better job explaining those things to people and
Yeah.
let them know how they can dispose of those things. But I don't think we should take items that can be recycled and throw them
that's
in the
not what I'm
dump.
suggesting. There's gonna be a truck, a pickup truck that follows the sanitation truck. The pickup truck captures the recycling and it gets dumped with the
Like the
recycling.
bulk,
Yeah.
the bulk recycling. We're not talking about our.
Can't-
No.
Like if somebody happens to throw out a kid's little tykes
Yeah.
unit, that would be recycling versus a bulk item.
Right, so,
Okay.
like scrap metal is basically what we're getting at, like,
Right.
I don't want to encourage residents to throw out commingled bottles and cans, cardboard, because I'm seeing residents trying to put their bulk in cardboard boxes, like, we'll empty the cardboard box, but we're gonna leave the box, because we want you to recycle that on Tuesdays. We're not gonna collect any appliances. When I say appliances, that means air conditioners too, like nothing, or dehumidifiers, nothing with Freon in it, because that has to be paid for by the resident.
Right.
But yeah, it's like regular scrap metal, yeah, that's fine, I got no problem with us picking up scrap metal. I think we just leave it at that, if it's, because I don't wanna make it too complicated. If we just say,
Right.
we will pick up scrap metal, but not count it towards your 5 items, and just leave it like that, that'll be fine, because everything else, they should be putting it out on Tuesdays curbside, or be paying for it out of the cart, because it's an appliance.
Right.
So-
Well, Greg, we haven't finalized that flyer that mailer we're gonna put out, so we could include that on
Yeah.
there.
We need to amend the ordinance, I guess, do we want to do a little straw poll or something to figure out if we're all in agreement with
So,
this?
let me just, before we go forward, so if somebody puts it out in error, it'll take it either way, either it'll
Right.
count as recycling or not. Because that's gonna be the problem, is this recycling or not, and then we would have to identify like almost every item.
Yeah, like if
I didn't even know until about the umbrella,
Yeah,
until
like-
you guys were talking about it. So I would've thought that was a bulk thing.
Someone puts out a barbecue grill, a patio umbrella, brake rotors, whatever, yeah, we'll take it.
You'll
But-
take break.
And even if that's the only thing they put out, we'll take it, we'll put it back in the mason dump. We have a whole crew out there, so yes, team lift, everything like that, it's gonna be fine.
But you guys will take rotors and.
Steel, man.
It's metal, scrap metal.
No, I know at one time they wouldn't take hard parts.
No, it's.
No, I think it is, definitely should be recycled, because
If someone wants to do their own brake jobs and they have brake rotors, and okay, we'll take it.
Quick question, what about a small appliance like a can opener or toasters?
So
Is that,
toasters we can consider that scrap metal, and microwaves ovens as well, but vacuums are not electronics, so that's considered bulk.
but,
You're gonna need like a very detailed website, and this is gonna get confusing, but I think opening it up a little bit for the recycling to get picked up is a very positive thing.
Yeah,
And just encouraging people, if they're not sure, give you a call and say, I have this, I want to put it out.
well, and we can't put too much, like Laura said, we're trying to make this mailer, right? I don't want to put too much on there. One of my ideas, I haven't mentioned it yet, and so it's a perfect place to do it, is we're going to create a flyer, a mailer, similar to our annual flyer that we do at the end of every year for the following year. We're going to be including commingled recycling, vegetative waste rules, sanitation rules, bulk rules, clean communities, everything. And everything recycling and sanitation wise. We're gonna put the highlights on there, and then for each category, I'm gonna include a QR code that will redirect them to our website with all information that we can put on there, because with the website, we can put as much information as we want.
Right.
And be as detailed as we want, and I think it'll just be a lot easier. Everyone loves QR codes nowadays. Everyone's got a smartphone, so. I don't like them, but I still use them.
Everybody loves it.
I don't love them, but I still use them, because it's helpful, it's a useful tool.
Yeah, all right, great.
I agree as
So I
well.
guess we'll have to amend it. That way, if you got something like that, at least it's still picked up. That's all residents care about, is that you picked it up. What are you gonna do with it? Okay, that's up to you.
They just want to look at it.
Just take it out, yeah, just get rid of it.
So if I'm hearing the council's desire would then be to permit scrap metal but not have it count towards the 5 items?
Correct, and no appliances.
No appliances, correct. So
So
then,
appliances, especially containing Freon.
okay. And then I can work with you to figure out if we have to tweak the language. And then just, I know from off the top of my head, the ordinance does put the onus in a good way on the superintendent to be the judge and juror as to what counts and what does not. So, in his area of expertise, so at least that should help the process, but I understand it doesn't answer the complaints.
Thank you, Greg.
Quick question, just say an old gas stove, that's recycling?
Gas stove, but that's considered an appliance. Gas stove from the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's considered an appliance.
You gotta pay for that stuff.
No, that's free. But
Okay.
we would not pick that up at all. It's too big to pick up and put in the back of the truck. Like,
So how would a resident dispose of a stove should they
They can
need to?
call us. I mentioned this to Laura, and we're gonna wait for the right time to do it. But I want to amend a lot of things with our à la carte. And at some point, I would like to just get that done for residents picking it up. But right now, as it stands with our current à la carte bulk, there's a very small nominal fee to pick up appliances for residents. But if the resident could get it to us, they can. And I've actually been telling the residents, like, oh, well, I only have a small car, I can get it there. So go to Home Depot, you rent one of their trucks for $20 for 75 minutes, use that and bring it here. And they really like the idea, so there's no harm in it.
And so it's free if they bring it, small fee if they can't.
Right,
That's
yeah,
right.
small fee for us to pick it up, but if they want to, and the Home Depot truck is cheaper than us coming to get it, so if they wanted to rent the truck, bring their scrap metal, because we'll take it for free if they bring it to us.
I mean, usually when you buy an appliance, then you pay the company to take the old
Yeah,
appliance.
it's like
That's what
$75
I
or
do.
something like that to get rid of it.
Right.
Sam's does it for free.
Really?
Who does it for free?
Sam's.
Yeah. A lot of places will do it for free because they're scrapping it.
Buying something from them.
Right.
Okay, so I have to fix that.
Okay. Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
Next for council consideration is the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 25-132 to 25-141. Resolution 141 has been amended to include an additional vehicle for salvaging.
Is there a motion to approve the amendment to Resolution 141?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilman Scurry, seconded by Councilman Penestrella. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion?
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Morrow and seconded by Councilman Scurry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Resolutions 25 through 132
Sound the same.
and 25 through 140-141 have been approved by one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Giordano Paserno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Piper?
Yes.
Councilman Scurries?
Yes.
And Councilman Boyle is excused. Next for council consideration is ordinance 2025-06 for introduction.
I'd like to make a motion to have amend this ordinance.
Okay.
And I'd like
Yeah, the borough attorney can,
some of the changes. So I know this was circulated in the proposed ordinance. There were some comments and concerns with I'll just start with section 141-1, subsection B, which could have provided the, I'll say, wiggle room or discretion as to permitting additional flags, which would go beyond kind of the purpose and scope of the ordinance. So it would be to strike subsection B in the proposed ordinance, which would then slide obviously the C that's proposed up one. In that section where it starts, in addition to the official flag of the United States of America, the language after that, and such other flags or objects as may be authorized by resolution of the Borough Council would be stricken, which that would go along with the previously stricken section. The subsection 4 would be added, which would say the official flag of the Borough of Kenilworth permitting such a flag. And then section 141-3, to go along with the other changes, the one sentence, that entire section, but the end of it where it begins, and without the express written consent of the Borough of Kenilworth, which consent shall be authorized by resolution of the Borough Council, that language shall also be stricken, which then results in the ordinance permitting the flags that are identified in here, which are in essence commemorative flags. That's just a lay term, the way it's used in here. And then to the extent there's a section that says that no flag can be displayed without approval, that would be intended to mean no internal ways to put flags up there on a whim. They would have to be these flags, and you'd have to be authorized to do so. So it does get to the no third-party flags, and it would be limited to what's presented.
Okay.
I was, what the motion is to.
I'm gonna get to that. The purpose of this ordinance is to establish a protocol for the display of the flag in the Borough Code. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance 2025-06 on introduction as amended?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paterno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Piper?
Yes.
Councilman Scurries?
Yes.
And Councilman Boyle is excused. Ordinance 2025-06 will be scheduled for public hearing and adoption at the June 18th council meeting at 6 p.m.
Okay, I'd like to open up the meeting to the public. Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilman Finestrella, seconded by Councilman Scurries. All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward and state your name and address. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the floor for public discussion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Piper, seconded by Councilwoman Giordano Paterno. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, are there any other, before we go into executive session, workshop or general business items anyone would like to discuss?
I would like to wish everybody a wonderful Memorial Day, especially those who are mourning the losses of those that fought in wars. And I think I just beat you to it, Joe.
Joe, you're starting to get competition now, Joe. You're on your game tonight. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day, and as well send my condolences to anyone that has lost their life serving our country. Okay, at this time, there is need to go into executive session to discuss matters within the attorney-client privilege and personnel matters. No formal action will be taken. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Motion might be made by Councilman Scurry, seconded by Councilwoman Giordano Paterno. Thank you, everyone.